Bill said, we appreciate everybody being here on short notice this morning on Friday. Earlier I met with Coach Moorhead. After discussions with him, we informed him that we're going to go in a different direction with our football program. I want to say clearly that Joe Moorhead is a terrific man and an outstanding coach. I certainly wish the best to Coach Moorhead and his family in the future. He will have a bright future in coaching down the road. As the athletic director of Mississippi State, I'm constantly evaluating the trajectory of all of our programs, always in the best interest of our student athletes, our fans, our alumni, our staff. With our football season now complete and after careful review of our program, we feel like it's in our best interest to move forward identifying a new football coach, one who is the best fit for Mississippi State University. Mississippi State's a unique place, and we'll never waver in the qualities that have made us successful. We're a blue-collar, competitive, hard-nosed football team, and we play in the best division in the best conference in the entire country. We carry a chip on our shoulder, and we have to outwork other people. We will identify someone who will develop our student athletes on and off the field, and we will identify somebody who will hold all of our student athletes in football accountable. We are family. We will find a head coach who connects with the most passionate fan base in all of college football. As you can imagine, a search of this magnitude is going to generate a ton of interest, and it's going to generate rumors. I ask that you take what you hear with a grain of salt, unless you hear it from me. And with that, I will take a few questions.
Please raise your hand. We'll start with Ben in the front.
John, Joe's a guy that finished 14-12, 3 straight top 25 recruiting classes, won 2 Egg Bowls. Why the change now?
Yeah, certainly, wins and losses matter. I coached long enough myself to know wins and losses matter, and Joe did win 14 games. In this case, it goes a little bit beyond just wins and losses, although I want to state for sure that wins and losses matter, but there were some other issues at stake here that we had to consider.
When you talk about some of those other issues, of course, the kind of got out there, the altercation in practice and whatnot, how much did those altercations and those things and the things that came to light and some of those issues, how much did that factor into this?
Well, everything factors in. So what you just mentioned is a factor. Is it the factor? No, but it is a factor, one of several factors.
We'll go to Steve. Come around.
When identifying the next football coach at Mississippi State, what are some of the attributes you're looking for? Is it a prerequisite that you have maybe a sitting head coach?
Yeah, certainly there's a lot of those qualities, and we could probably have a very long conversation about it, but it's going to have to start with discipline. It's going to have to start with having a hard edge. It's going to start with helping student athletes grow both on and off the field. It's going to start with somebody who has a passion for Mississippi State specifically. As I mentioned before, this is a unique place, and we're excited about finding that person.
We'll go Logan and Ben.
With the bulk of the signing class already in, what's kind of your message to those guys during this transition? Yeah,
we have now contacted every one of our signees. We know that this was a little bit of a bombshell to those guys. You don't sign with one coach, you sign with Mississippi State University, and we're willing to help those folks any way that we possibly can, and we look forward to our head coach having an opportunity to sit down and have a great conversation with every one of those young men.
John, beyond the athletic department, do y'all plan on using any kind of search committee to round out a list of candidates or anything on that?
There will not be a committee. Obviously, I work for Dr. Mark Keenum, and we will be in close consultation throughout the process. We will use a search firm to get us some background information, but the search firm will have no bearing on candidates or decisions to be made.
John, does the next coach need to have ties to either the SEC or Southern roots?
I think it's a real danger when you close in the bubble of possible candidates. Just as a quick example, if LSU had that mentality, they would have never hired Nick Saban. We're going to do a national search, and we're going to find the right person for Mississippi State University.
John, was there kind of a feeling that maybe Joe had kind of lost control internally of the team as far as discipline and accountability and some of the things that you mentioned a while ago when you said you would look for in the next coach?
Well, certainly, I'm not going to dig in deep into that, but there was a series of events we had to evaluate, and we had to make the right decision for Mississippi State University.
Steve?
John, what's kind of the timeline there for your decision? When did you begin thinking that you were headed down this path, and ultimately, when was the final decision made?
Well, it's a never-ending evaluation process. I'm not going to pinpoint an exact moment, but certainly I had many discussions with our president, Dr. Mark Keenum, during the course of the week. And actually, we're having conversations all the time, even before this week. So I'm not sure there's an isolated moment. Again, it's a series of events over time.
Back to the front, we'll go here.
John, do you have an estimated timeline to where you might name a new coach, or is that just too hard to predict right now?
Yeah, I don't want to restrict us in that area. I don't want to restrict us with a timeline. We're going to go find the right coach. We're going to find the right fit. It could happen quickly, or it could take a little bit of time. So we started on that process already, and we're going to make sure we do the right thing.
John, Tony Hughes was named the interim coach for the time being. Do you expect him to interview for the full-time job?
Yeah, I don't think Tony's going to interview for the position. I have so much respect for Tony Hughes. He's a veteran in the Southeastern Conference, a veteran head coach. He is a guy that, I have the utmost respect for, and he's in contact with much of our roster right now.
John, there's a lot of rumor past the Egg Bowl that this was going to happen in November, and it didn't. You reassured that Coach Moore was going to be here. Was it just one thing that happened in the past month that made that change, or was this something you were sort of leaning towards the whole time?
Well, I'm not trying to be repetitive, but it's a series of events. I think rarely is there one isolated event that causes a change. I know this was a series of events that happened, and I think we do a pretty good job of monitoring every aspect of the program, and again, we felt it was the right thing to do.
Back to Joel.
I know we had talked before that the plan back a few weeks ago was to extend Joe back out to the full 4 years and things. Was that contract ever signed or anything of that nature? Was that ever executed?
I'm not gonna dig into that. Again, I will say that I felt like at the time we built some momentum, and I was so excited about that momentum continuing forward for the next 30 days through bowl prep. To me, again, we're evaluating that whole time, and again, some incidents came up that kind of altered our course in this process.
You said that off-the-field issues along with on-field problems were reasons for the change, but obviously firing a guy for 2 years after he making bowl eligible, how would you reassure a Nets coach that this could be a spot where he could succeed even, if he makes 2 straight bowls and he's out of a job today?
Well, it really depends on the nature of the coach. If we get the right coach, they're going to see this as an incredible opportunity with the best fans in college football. They're going to see this as a place that has incredible facilities, competing at the highest level. We've got to have the person who is not afraid to come in and compete against the best of the very best. And I think the SEC West, it's not even close when you look at it nationally. So I think it's all about getting the right guy, the right fit, who clearly understands the challenges of being at this level.
John, I know there's always pressure when hiring a coach, and a football coach in particular. For you, this is your second football coaching hire in a couple of years. Is there any added personal pressure for you to get this one right?
Yeah, you know what? I come from a sport where we played, if we made it to Omaha, we played 70 times a year. And I felt the same amount of pressure in every one of those 70 games. Pressure is something that's self-induced. I'm honored to represent Mississippi State, and I'm honored to represent this incredible fan base. I have so many friends that I went to school here with, so many friends who are fans. Our fans get it. Our fans are educated, and I love them. I think they create the best atmosphere in college football right here, and I want to do this for them. I want to do it for our players. I want to do it for this great university. So that's my motive, not anything about pressure.
Back to Joe, up front.
It's pretty unprecedented in Mississippi State history, and not all that usual around the country to, after 2 years, to dismiss a coach and things. Just how difficult was it, this process, and how quickly it kind of came about and stuff. Just what has been the, I guess, internally in your mind, the dialogue and things. Just how tough has this been the last couple of weeks?
Well, I always say this to all of our coaches, and I say it to my own children. If you do something the right way, it's always difficult, right? So everything's difficult about this. We're altering somebody's career, somebody that I care about, somebody I think who's a great man with a great family. It's difficult. There's no question about that. But in the end, it comes down to doing what's right for our institution, what's right for our student athletes, what's right for our staff, what's right for our fans. That's what it comes down to. And when you can isolate it in that direction, you feel good about making the decision.
Back to Ben.
John, I know you guys are going to cast a wide net, but Billy Napier's a guy who's been mentioned a lot in connection with this job. Is he someone that y'all have had contact with at all in the early going of this?
Yeah, we're not going to comment on any of our candidates. I appreciate you asking that question. I can tell you in the early stages of this, the amount of interest this has drawn from outstanding coaches from one coast to the other has been incredible. I shouldn't be surprised because this is an elite football program, and we're going to get the right guy. But again, really excited about the pool that we've been able to put together so far.
John, I know delivering the news to Coach had to be a tough thing to do, but what was his reaction? Did he seem appreciative of the opportunity you got here, or just could you share what maybe the reaction he had?
Well, it's obviously it's disappointing for sure. I mean, he is a great man. He's a learned man. He's an educated man. I think at some levels Joe immediately got it. But I also think he recognizes the fact that he's got a coaching future in front of him, and that he's going to be successful, and he's going to learn from this experience.
Anything else? All right, thank you.